For the state of Ohio versus Julie Strickland. Ms. Strickland is before the court. What are we doing today, Mr. Goodyear?
It's my understanding the defendant's going to enter a guilty plea to count 1, count 3, count 5, and count 7, the indictment. The state's going to dismiss count 2, 4, 6, and 8. Defense requesting to go forward on sentencing after the plea as well today.
How old are you?
54.
I'm sorry?
54.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated, well, I got my GED.
Can you read and write?
Yeah.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Warren County, State of Ohio. The defendant, Julie Strickland, did receive, retain, or dispose of property of another, knowing or having reasonable cause to believe that the property had been obtained through the commission of a theft offense. Warren County, State of Ohio. The defendant, with purpose to defraud, or knowing that she was facilitating a fraud on another, did utter or possess with purpose to utter a writing, knowing it to have been forged in violation of section 29-13-31A3.
What is your plea?
Guilty.
The court will make a finding that you've made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of your constitutional rights that we have discussed. The court will accept your plea of guilty, and based upon the statement of facts in your plea, the court will make a finding of guilty. Anything before I sentence Mr. Goodyear?
First, Your Honor, I wanted to point out, so there are basically 4 victims in the case. The first victim is a gentleman named Milton Carpenter, who has since passed. His daughter is present. So she's here representing him. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Ms. Kennard spoke with each one of the businesses that she get in contact with regarding their feelings. And I didn't know if you want to say anything? The victim would like to speak, if that's okay, Judge.
Of course. Is this on which case?
So the receiving stolen property, Your Honor, is the checks.
The checks.
And then the checks were written. Yes.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. At the time, I lived in Lima, which is a considerable distance for me to come daily to check on my father. And I had Julie and Mike, because they had become friends with my father, help me with this. He was getting low on checks because I would fill out checks for him to sign for bills and such. And I let them know that the checks would be there and if they could please keep them safe for me. They then claimed that the checks never were delivered. So I went to Huntington Bank and I'm like, I don't know if they got stolen, misplaced, whatever. Huntington said that their confirmation that the checks were delivered to the mailbox. So I was like, can we please just void out those checks and I get new ones for my father? Which at that time, Huntington Bank did void those checks. No matter who used them, they would have bounced anyway, even before the passing of my father. My father then passed, and in the time I was doing everything for his household and just trying to clean everything up, and I was getting messages and calls from businesses saying, hey, someone's using your father's checks, we're getting them bounced, you need to fix this. Because I was power of attorney on his account. So that's when I found out that she was forging my father's signature.
Did she have a relationship with your father?
Besides neighbors, no, they were just neighbors and friends of.
Okay.
And because I lived so far away and I couldn't check on my father daily, they were the ones I trusted to do this, unfortunately. Montgomery County has contacted me saying that she did bad checks in their area and was wondering if I knew. Trust people very easily anyway, but I thought we trusted them. They lived across the street from my father for 10, 12 years, and they would help him mow, they would get him groceries, do his laundry, things that I couldn't do on the regular. And now, I don't even trust my neighbors. We've got so many cameras up. I watch them constantly. This has broken something in me.
Your Honor, the only thing I wanted to add for the businesses is I spoke with the businesses yesterday about a potential agreed sentence of 18 months in prison. It's unusual, but the businesses actually, their position was they thought 18 months in prison was not enough. They thought she needed more. It's actually their businesses are local to the community that she lives in. One of the people at the business, unbeknownst to them, they didn't realize that her father had passed. Julie actually tried to rent the property out to this person. And then they found out, fortunately, they hadn't given her money, but they found out the hard way that place wasn't even up for rent, and that he had passed. So I think there's just a lot of layers of deception, and the businesses themselves felt like 18 months in prison wasn't sufficient.
Thank you. Anything on behalf of the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. Regarding the charges here, Ms. Strickland has entered a complete admission of guilt, taking accountability for her actions. And as the complaining witness has stated, that the chain of events that stemmed from this have spanned into Montgomery County, which Ms. Strickland has retained us for, that we represent her on, and she is being sentenced in that court later in this month, taking accountability for those same actions. Money orders here from Ms. Strickland and her family, both totaling at $2,000 to pay the entire, both totaling at $4,000, I apologize, to pay the entire restitution amount for these active cases, along with her probation violation and the restitution in that case, to coincide with Ms. Strickland's admission of guilt and to take accountability for her actions that give to the probation department today, or however the court would see fit, in order to pay that restitution amount.
Where did this money come from?
It is my understanding that these are 2 checks from her father, I believe.
I think back there. Mine.
Oh, from Mike, her husband. I apologize.
Are these checks or?
These are money orders from, it appears, People's Bank, Your Honor.
I understand that the money orders are of a different nature than a bank check, but considering the history here, before the court takes any action, I would certainly want to verify.
I agree. At this point in time, Ms. Strickland, quite frankly, I don't trust you. I took a gander at your history, your criminal history that dates back over 25 years of stealing from other people. I'm going to send you to prison, but right now, I don't know for how long, to be honest with you. So I'm going to reschedule this hearing. We can come back and do sentencing at a later date, but quite frankly, I don't trust that those money orders are good. With your history, I'm not going to accept any, unless it's cash, which I don't think you would have the ability to duplicate that. I'm going to reset this. See my assignment commissioner and set it for sentencing. I'm not going to do this today. Ma'am, you don't have to come back if you don't want to. I have a fairly good memory. I'm familiar with Ms. Strickland, so yeah. I mean, this could drastically change how long I send you, but you're not going back on community control. I gave you that shot, and you literally just threw it back in my face by stealing from several more people, and apparently up in Montgomery County too. You have a theft problem. And if you've never had something stolen from you, it's a horrible, horrible feeling. And again, I get tired of people, stealing once, you make a mistake, I get it. But when you've been stealing for a quarter of a century, it is basically your identity right now. You are a thief and a fraud. I don't even believe your whole medical condition, to be frank. So set it for sentencing. I'm not going to do it today. That's all.
Judge, I'm sorry. I was in the middle of doing things. I may have missed it. Did we also get an admission to?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's good. That's a good. Thank you.
Thank you.
On case number 24, CR 42112, does she wish to have a hearing on that probation violation?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court's going to find that she has violated the terms of her community control. That and the sentencing, the disposition of that probation violation and the sentencing will be set at a later date. All right. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Action to be admitted to. Doesn't sound like it. Okay.
Okay,
that's fine. No, it's
now
okay.
I understand your
want-
question, but
yes, I apologize. No,
you're
good.
fine. You're
good.
fine. You're
In the case of
representing
the state of
him,
Ohio
and then of
versus
course, as I
Julie
mentioned, Ms. Kennard
The
spoke with
defendant
each
appeared
one of
before
the
the court to
businesses
resolve a
that she
series
get
of
in contact
theft-related
with regarding
charges
their feelings.
and an
I didn't know-
associated probation violation.
say
At the start of the hearing, the
She would like- the
prosecutor
victim would like to speak to
explained
that.
the
Okay,
plea
Judge.
arrangement
Of course.
that had been reached.
Is this
Under
on
that
which
agreement,
case?
Julie
So the
Strickland
receiving
pleaded
stolen property,
guilty
Your Honor,
to
is the
count
check,
one,
check.
and then the
count
checks were
3,
written.
count
Gotcha.
5,
I'm sorry, go
and
ahead.
count
No,
7 of
it's
the
fine.
indictment.
At the
While the
time,
state
I
would
lived
dismiss
in
counts
Lima,
2,
which
4,
is
6,
a
and
considerable
8.
distance.
The parties were
for me to
also
come
requesting
daily
to
to check
move
on my
directly
father.
into sentencing
And
after the plea.
I
Before
had
accepting
Julie
the
and
plea,
Mike, because
the
they had
judge
become
questioned
friends with my
Strickland
father,
about her
helped me with
background and
this.
capacity
He
to
was getting low
understand
on checks
proceedings.
because I would
She said she was
fill
54
out checks
years
for
old,
him
had
to
obtained a
sign
GED,
for
could
bills
read
and
and
such.
write, and
And I
was a
let
citizen
them
of the
know
United
that
States.
the checks would be
Charges
there
with an
and if
outline
they
in
could please
open
keep
court.
them safe for
One
me.
count involved
They
receiving
then claimed
stolen
that the
property
checks
in Warren
never
County,
were
Ohio.
delivered.
specifically
went
that she had
to
received,
Huntington
retained,
Bank,
or disposed of another
and
person's
I'm
property
like,
while
I don't know if they
knowing
got
or having
stolen,
reasonable cause to
misplaced,
believe it had
whatever.
been obtained
Huntington
through
said that
commission
their
of a theft
confirmation that the
offense.
checks weren't
Another
delivered
count
to the
involved
mailbox.
forgery,
So I was like,
and that she had
can
acted
we
with purpose
please
to
just
defraud,
void
or
out those
acknowledge that
checks
she was
and I get
facilitating
new
a
ones
fraud
for my
on another by
father?
uttering or
Which
possessing
at
with
that
purpose to
time,
utter a
Huntington Bank
writing
did
she
void
knew
those
to have been
checks. No
forged
matter who
in
used them, they would
violation of
have
Ohio
bounced
law.
anyway, even
When
before the
asked for a
passing of my
plea,
father.
Strickland pleaded
My father
guilty.
then
The
passed,
court then found that
and
she had
in the
knowingly,
time I was doing
intelligently,
everything
and
for
voluntarily
his
waived the constitutional rights that had
household
been
and just
explained to
trying to
her,
clean everything
accepted
up,
the
and
guilty
I was
plea,
getting
and
messages
based
and
upon the statement
calls
of facts
from
contained in the plea, entered
businesses saying,
findings of
hey,
guilt on the admitted
someone's
counts.
using your father's
After the plea was
checks,
accepted,
we're getting them
the
bounced, you
hearing
need to
turned toward the
fix
question of
this.
sentencing,
Because I was power
and
of
the
attorney on his
prosecution
account, so
immediately began to explain
that's
the
when I
broader
found out
context of the
that
case.
she was
The
forging
prosecutor
my
pointed out
father's
that there were
signature.
essentially
So
four
did
victims
she have a
involved.
relationship with
The
your
first
father?
and most
How did
personal
she-
victim was
Besides
Milton
neighbors,
Carpenter,
no, they were
a
just
man who had since
neighbors and
passed
friends
away,
of.
and whose daughter was present in court to speak on his
And
behalf.
because I lived
The
so far
prosecutor
away and I
also
couldn't check on my
referenced
father
the business
daily,
victims in the case,
they were the ones
and
I
explained that
trusted to
another
do this.
representative had spoken to the affected businesses to
Unfortunately,
gather their
Montgomery
views.
County has
At that
contacted me
point,
saying that
the victim's
she
daughter was
did
invited to
checks,
address the
bad
court.
checks in
Her
their
statement laid
area,
out the
and
human
was
side of
wondering
crime
if
in
I
painful
knew
detail.
trust people very
She
easily
explained
anyway.
at the time these
But
events unfolded, she was living
this,
in
like,
Lima,
I thought we
which
trusted
made
them.
it
They lived
difficult for
across
her
the
to
street
travel
from my
every
father
day to check on her
for
father.
10, 12 years.
Because of that distance,
And they would help
she had
him
relied on
mow, they
Julie
would get him
Strickland and Mike,
groceries, do
who
his
had become
laundry,
friends and neighbors of her
things
father,
that I
to
couldn't
help her with
do
his
on the
care and with
regular.
practical tasks.
And now, like, I don't
Her
even
father
trust
was
my
running low
neighbors.
on
Like,
checks.
we've got so many
And because she
cameras up,
handled
I
his
watch
bills
them
and had him
constantly.
sign
Like,
checks
if
for
this has
necessary
broken
expenses,
something in me.
she had arranged for new checks to be delivered.
Your
She
Honor, the
told
only thing I
Strickland
wanted
and
to
Mike
add
that
for
the
the
checks would be
businesses is I
arriving,
spoke with the businesses
and asked them to
yesterday
keep them safe for her
about a
father.
potential agreed
Later,
sentence of
however,
18 months in
they
prison.
claimed that the checks had
It's
never been
unusual,
delivered.
but the businesses actually,
Suspicious
their
and
position was
confused,
they thought
she
18 months in
contacted
prison was
Huntington
not
Bank
enough.
and asked what happened.
They thought
The
she
bank
needed
told
more.
her that the checks
It's
had in
actually
fact
their
been
businesses are
delivered to the
local to the
mailbox.
community that she lives
At that
in.
point, because
One
she
of
did not
the
know whether they
people
had been
at the
stolen or
business,
misplaced, she requested
unbeknownst
that
to
the
them, they
checks
didn't
be
realize that
voided
her
and
father had
replaced.
passed.
The bank
Julie
did
actually
void
tried to
them,
rent the
which meant that
property
no
out
matter who
to this
attempted to use
person.
them, they would bounce.
And then they found out,
She thought
fortunately,
that
they
had
hadn't
solved the
given her
problem.
money, but
The
they found out the
situation
hard way
worsened
that
after her father
place wasn't
died.
even up for rent.
As she was trying to settle
And
his
that he had
affairs,
passed. So
clean up his
I think there's
household,
just a lot of layers of
and handle the
deception, and they
responsibilities
felt, the
that came with his
businesses
passing.
themselves felt like
She
18 months
began
in prison
receiving
wasn't
calls and
sufficient.
messages from businesses
Thank you.
saying that someone was using
Anything
her
on
father's
behalf of the
checks
defendant?
and that the
Yes, Your
checks
Honor.
were bouncing.
Regarding
Because she held power of
the
attorney on his
charges
account,
here,
those calls
Ms.
came
Strickland
to
has
her.
entered a
That was the
complete
moment she
admission
discovered
of
that
guilt,
Julie Strickland had
taking
allegedly been
accountability for
forging
her
her father's
actions,
signature
and
and
as
passing
the
checks
complaining
even after
witness
his
has
death.
stated
When
that
the judge
the
asked
chain
about
of
Strickland's
events that
relationship
stemmed
to her
from this
father,
have
the daughter
spanned
explained that they
into
were
Montgomery
neighbors
County,
and had become
which
friendly over the
Ms.
years.
Strickland has
They had lived
retained
across the
us
street from him
for
for
that we
10 to 12
represent her
years
on,
and had been
and
people she
she
believed
is
she could trust.
being
They helped with mowing,
sentenced in that
groceries,
court later
laundry,
in
and other
this
small
month,
acts of support that
taking
she could not
accountability
provide
for
regularly
those same
because she lived so
actions.
far away.
Money orders
That
here
long-standing
from
trust
Ms.
was
Strickland and her
exactly what
family,
made the
both
betrayal
totaling
so
at
severe.
$2,000 to
She
pay
said that
the
because of this
entire,
experience,
both
something in her had
totaling
broken.
at $4,000.
She had
I
never been
apologize.
someone who trusted
To
people
pay
very
the
easily to
entire
begin with.
restitution
But
amount
after relying on
for
neighbors who had known her father for
these
years
active
only to
cases,
discover they had
along
exploited
with
him,
her probation
she now
violation
found
and
herself
the
unable to
restitution
trust
in
even
that
those
case,
around her. She said
to
her home was
coincide
covered with
with Ms.
cameras,
Strickland's
and that she
admission of guilt
constantly
and to take
watched them.
accountability for
The
her
theft and
actions that
fraud
give
had not
to
only
the
cost
probation
money
department
and
today or
created legal
however the
trouble,
court would see fit
but
in
it
order to
permanently
pay that
damaged her
restitution
sense of
amount.
safety
Where did this
and her
money come
ability
from?
to trust others.
It is my
She
understanding
also
that these
mentioned that
are two
Montgomery
checks
County
from her
authorities had
father, I
contacted her
believe.
because Strickland had apparently written bad checks
Oh,
in that
from
area
Mike, her
as
husband.
well,
I apologize.
and wanted to know whether whether she had any
Are these
information.
checks or-
These
That
are money
details
orders
show
from
the
it
crime
appears
was
People's
not
Bank, Your
isolated
Honor.
to one incident, but part of a
I
broader
understand
pattern of
that the
fraudulent
money
conduct
orders
extending beyond
are
the
of a
case
different
immediately
nature
before
than
the court.
a bank
The
check.
prosecutor then added more
But considering the
context about
history
the
here,
business
before the
victims
court takes any
and their
action, I would
feelings
certainly
about
want
I
to
agree.
verify.
I
He
agree. At this
explained
point in
and
time,
spoke
Ms.
with
Strickland,
businesses a
quite
day
frankly,
before
I
about a
don't
potential
trust
agreed
you.
sentence of 18 months in
I
prison,
took a
rather
gander
than
at
being satisfied with
your
that
history.
proposal.
Your criminal
businesses felt it was
history
not
that
enough.
dates back
According to
over
the prosecutor,
25 years of
they
stealing
believed
from other
Strickland
people.
deserved more prison time
I'm going to send you to
because of the depth
prison.
of
But
deception involved.
right now, I don't know
These
for how long,
businesses
to be
were
honest
local
with
to
you.
the same
So
community where
I'm going to
Strickland
reschedule this hearing.
which made the conduct
We can
feel
come
even more
back
personal
and do
and
sentencing at a
invasive.
later date. But
One of the
quite
business
frankly,
owners or
I
individuals
don't trust
connected
that
to a
those
business described
money
an
orders are
especially
good
troubling
with your
episode.
history. I'm
Without
not going
their
to accept
knowledge that
any,
Milton Carper
unless
had
it's
died,
cash,
Julie
which I
Strickland
don't
had
think you would have
apparently
the
tried
ability
to rent out his property to someone.
duplicate that.
Fortunately,
I'm going to reset this.
that person had not
See my
handed
son,
over
Commissioner,
any
and set
money
it for
before
sentencing.
discovering
I'm
that
not
the
going
property
to
was not
do this
legitimately
today.
available.
Ma'am, you don't have
and
to
that
come back
Carpenter
if you
had
don't want
already
to.
passed
I
away
have
to the prosecutor.
fairly good memory.
This
I'm familiar with
demonstrated
Ms.
that the case
Strickland,
was
so
not simply about a few
yeah.
forged checks.
I mean, this could
It was layered
this could
with deception,
drastically change how
manipulation,
long I
and
send you, but you're